Hey everybody, happy Thursday to everybody. And happy Earth Day, by the way. Hopefully everybody's doing well. Just coming on here, I'm about to get ready for this live with Ashley Scott. Just waiting for him to come on. Hey Ellison. Ellison, you and I, we need to talk privately too. We got to do some work on some stuff too. Hey Chris. Yes, Chris, I know you're gonna be happy when you hear Ashley. When you see him live, I mean. Let me see if I can get Ashley to come on here in a bit. Okay. Oh, thank you. I like the shirt too. I got my special cup here, Chris. All right, Ashley, I see you. Let's get you on. Hi, Lamar. Oh, let's see what happens, you guys. Well, good evening.
Evening, sir. How's it going, man?
Doing good. How are you doing, sir?
I'm all right. I'm all right. How's everything?
Doing pretty well. You know how to make sure I look good for this interview for you and for everybody else.
Yeah, I had to make sure I was cool too, you know?
Yeah, we had. Oh, for the record, you guys, Ashley and I did a test run that was off camera that none of y'all seen.
Had to, you know? We're on your
So let
platform, you know?
you. For those of you guys who wonder who that special guest is, this is my good friend right here, Ashley Scott. Even though we've known each other for a while, but we had reconnected, what, a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, a couple weeks ago, yeah.
Because I remember him. I'm going to let you guys know a fun fact. I remember him when he used to be going live when Rona Bennett had her radio show.
Yeah, that was a while ago.
That was a
Great
while
times,
ago.
though. Yeah, great times.
I'm trying to stay on that, Ashley. But for those of you, but Ashley, introduce yourself to the audience.
My name's Ashley Scott. I'm a singer and songwriter from Philadelphia, PA. I have a brand new single that drops tomorrow. It's called Don't Throw Our Love Away. It's available on all digital platforms, including my website, Ashley Scott Music, in the music store on the website, which is Bandcamp.
And it's a SoundCloud also.
Yeah, and it's on SoundCloud, but we need those downloads though. So we
We're
need
gonna
the
get those.
music store.
We're gonna push those downloads. Don't worry. We're gonna
Yeah,
push those downloads, Ashley. Don't worry.
yeah.
But let
So
everybody know about your background and everything, how you got into the industry and your life. Go ahead.
I started singing around age 3. Being from Philadelphia, Philly has a rich history of music, and some of that music is actually in my own family. My mother grew up on the same block as the Delphonics, so they're kind of like uncles to me. So they're known for like "La La Means I Love You," "Did Not Blow Your Mind," some of those classics from the early Sound of Philadelphia years. And my dad's sister, my aunt Helen Scott, when she was 15 years old in 1963, she joined a female singing group that she's still performing with to this very day. They had dates last year in England, right before the pandemic hit, and they're the longest running female vocal trio in music history. The group is known as the Three Degrees, and they're known for the song "When Will I See You Again," as well as TSOP, the Soul Train theme, as well. So seeing her performing, videos of her concerts in England is what really inspired me to sing. They're more popular overseas, where they have more so a string of hits versus the two that I just mentioned were only hits here in the United States. And so they were so big in England that Prince Charles declared them as his favorite singing group. So she performed at Buckingham Palace for
Oh, I
his
didn't know that at all. That's
yeah,
something new.
she performed at Buckingham Palace for his 30th birthday party in 1978, and they were the only Americans other than Nancy Reagan to attend the wedding reception of Prince
Uh-huh.
Charles and Princess Diana.
Got you. Wow.
So them being a group, with slick harmonies and a tight stage show, that's what inspired me. That got me, got a love for singing, got a love for harmony and vocal arrangements and things of that nature. And ended up going to Howard University in DC, majored in music. I was on the Howard Gospel Choir there. During my time there, we were, as the choir, we backed up like Edwin and Walter Hawkins, Dorinda Clark, performed for Maya Angelou, performed for President Clinton. And I also studied under my jazz professors at Howard, was Grady Tate, who's a well-recorded jazz drummer, but was a singer as well. He did a lot of sessions and live work for Duke Ellington, Quincy Jones, Frank Sinatra, the whole nine, as well as Webster Lewis, who was the conductor for Barry White's Love Unlimited Orchestra, and he produced his own albums on Sony or CBS Records at that time in the 70s. 4 albums on his own, as well as he did an album with Barry White and the Love Unlimited Orchestra called Welcome Aboard. So he has about 5 albums under his belt, but he also produced a song by an artist named Michael Wyckoff called Here's Looking Up to You, and that song was later sampled by Jeanne for Hey Mr. DJ. So I remember him telling us about that, and when we got to college, we were like, so what, we asked him, like, who did you produce? He said, you all may not remember the original song, but you guys know the sample of one of my songs. And he said, and he couldn't remember the younger acts at that time. He said, those 2 girls that you guys love so much, they sampled my song. When he played it on the piano, we were like, oh, wow. So that was a huge, good thing to know.
You see, and so, my jaw dropped. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. And so those were my years at Howard, and came out of Howard, came back to Philly, and the neo soul scene was popping. And so I worked a lot more so on the business side of the industry, producing events and concerts and things of that nature. I worked in concert promotion for a while, started my own company and a nonprofit with one of my partners, and we produced a pretty successful event that was pretty, known here on the Philly music scene. We were actually one of the first people in the city to start live streaming our events. About 10 years ago, when live streaming was just first, kind of coming about. And our event ran for about, we did it in 2 increments. So the first time we did it in about 9 months, had a good run. And it was the most watched event by a lot of the Philly musicians. And almost every major artist has a Philly musician. So like when the Jeff Bradshaws and the Mans and all those guys were out with Jill Scott and John Legend, and they were always tuning in on a Tuesday night when we had our event to, see who was playing at home and what the jam session was like. I've also served on the board of governors for the Recording Academy for about 8 years. And one of those years I was a vice president of our chapter here in Philly. And so I released my first single, Words, in 2016. And it did pretty well independently. Got some good write-ups on Soul Tracks and Soul Bounce and Singer's Room, and it actually made it on a UK compilation CD for 2017 called Luxury Soul on Expansion Records. My last single, Dance the Night Away, came out last January of 2020, January 31st, and it went to the top 10 on the UK soul charts, and had a good run over there in England. And I put out a dance remix for it in June, and it did pretty well on some charts in Italy, on some radio stations over there. And so the next single, Don't Throw Our Love Away, comes out tomorrow. It's available at 12 noon. Yeah, in about 4 hours. So it goes live. And it is available for pre-order if you still want to, pre-order at ashleyscottmusic.com in the music store. And I'm excited about it. It hit UK radio today. And so I got a lot of inboxes today from some UK radio presenters, and I've been doing drops for like the past 3 hours recording for them because they're going to be playing the song now. And it hits Smooth Jazz Radio this coming weekend as well. So some smooth jazz stations have already picked up the song. So I'm really excited.
Yeah, because mind you guys, Ashley's been on the move on the promo with interviews and everything. So I was just glad he actually wanted to do an interview with me, because he wanted to hit me up. And I'm like, because we didn't talk for a long time. So when you hit me back up, I'm like, I know who you are. Come on now.
It's all good, man. But I appreciate it.
Because everybody looking at you, they're going to look at your skin complexion. Let them know your background, what your background is. Where's your background?
I'm black. You know,
Because
just
you don't hear people ask and say, "What is it? Black? Is it white? Is it half white? Is it
no,
Spanish?" You know,
I'm black. You know, just
I
light
know
skin.
I
You
know,
know, and my folks are from Virginia. You know, so Richmond, and my mother's side is from South Carolina. So you know, but you know, being light, you know, masculine was in somebody's quarters. You know, somewhere way back down the line. I am into the genetics and ancestry a little bit, so you know, I can kind of trace who some of those folks were. You know, but
well, you're the only one that got family history. You know, got legends in your own family. Because you know, my cousin is the late Betty Wright.
oh wow, okay. She was great. I think I met her one time at a Grammy event. She was
Yeah.
really cool and down to earth. She was
Oh.
actually in Philly once for the R&B Foundation Awards.
Mm-hmm. You'd be surprised because I think when we reconnected, I think you see me on the interview I did with Liza on her book.
Yeah, I
That's
did.
how I reconnected. Because when I saw you, I was like, okay.
Yep, I remember.
Because I remember a lot of people hit me up after the interview. They're like, Ashley Scott. They're like, do you know who it is? I said, I know who he is. I said, I know who he is for over a decade.
Wow, it's been that long. We're only
Yeah.
25 though.
Yeah,
So
we ain't going to tell the age of each
no, we're
other.
not talking age. We're not
We ain't
talking.
talking. That ain't important to people, right?
No, not at all. Not at all.
But besides you doing your music and everything, have you thought about like acting and everything like that, or are you just kind of more like just behind the scenes of music and just getting your stuff out there personally?
Right now, I'm more concerned with my own brands and things of that nature. So I'm in the process of starting a podcast right now, more so on and a radio show. The podcast, I have about 7 episodes taped right now, so I'm just
Okay.
looking to air them. I have to edit the audio, and it will be some video. It's called the Soulful Sound Series, and the podcast is called Remember That Song. So I'm interviewing a lot of legendary and contemporary artists, you know, talking about their careers and the songs that they made famous. So far I have Will Downing, I have Mesa, I have uh, Phil Hurt, who is a writer from the Philly Sound. He wrote I'll Be Around for the Spinners and Sunshine for the OJs. The late Bruce Halls, who recently passed in February. Bruce
Mm-hmm.
Hall wrote Games People Play for the Spinners, as well as Sadie for the Spinners, and a few other songs. He wrote for the 3 Degrees on their first PIR record as well. Um, who else? I did Dexter Wansell, who wrote If Only You Knew, Nights Over Egypt, Hurry Up This Way Again. He wrote a lot of classics for the Philly artists as well. And yeah, so it's about 7 episodes taped. And I also interviewed Gerald Alston from the Manhattans, Marshall Thompson from the Shy-Lights, and Kevin Owens, who is formerly a singer with Ray Goodman and Brown, but he was also you see him in all the Luther Vandross live videos. He was the male vocalist, background vocalist for Luther Vandross.
Okay, I remember him. Yeah, I remember him. Yeah.
Yeah, and we talked about his book that he did called His Life with Luther and things of that nature, as well as some of his solo recordings in his years with Ray Goodman and Brown. So I got some good content coming. So that'll be coming out soon on the Soulful Sound series. And I do have a Instagram, so if you want to follow that Soulful Sound series on
I'm,
IG.
I'm scared. Okay, I'm scared of you, Mr. Scott. You
Don't
see,
be scared, man. Don't be
I think
scared.
I've known him for a long time. I know his name. I say Mr. Scott out of respect.
It's all good. Call me Ashley. I'm not that old.
I know. Well, let's say don't go there. They got that. No, but that's a lot. You have a lot going on. People don't realize you've been, like you say, you've been in this industry for a long time.
Very long time. And I also work on the team of Will Downing. So I stay pretty busy doing work with him as well every day. So,
Of course.
and being a dad of a 5 and a 2-year-old and 2 girls. And so, you know, they're the heart.
How is that going with the whole pandemic going on for you?
It's a lot. It's a lot. You know, just trying to stay safe, really. And I'm saying at this point, with everything that's going on in the world, just trying to stay safe, you know, from everything in life, whether it's COVID, whether it's the police, whether it's this day-to-day stuff, you know, because we're just in a crazy time right now, you know, and just trying to get vaccinated, but also at the same time, just because you are vaccinated does not mean that you cannot still catch COVID.
Preach it, brother. Preach it.
And It's two people I know right now fighting for their lives as we speak, and I'm definitely sending prayers to a friend named Eric as well as another friend. And I don't know if you've heard of him. He's a keyboardist and artist named Paris Bowens from Philadelphia or from the Jersey area.
Oh, Owens, yes.
Paris is fighting right now, so everybody's praying for him.
Paris. I don't know Paris personally, but I know of Paris, so I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, he played with Ty Tribbett and Anthony Hamilton, and he was always James Poyser's second, person to play with the Roots. If he couldn't do the Tonight Show, Paris was taking his place. So, we're definitely praying for Paris right now.
Yeah, we gotta send our prayers out because so much going on with Black Lives Matter, so much. So we just, how we have to stay prayed up on that one right there. But how do you teach? I know because your girls are young. Have you had to talk with them, or you think you're gonna wait a little bit later as they get a little bit older to tell them about what's going on?
I've tried to talk to my 5-year-old about it. She's into her Disney princesses and every little Disney movie that there is. She's a movie buff, so I'll try to talk to her about something, but she'll start talking about Frozen or Princess Tiana from Princess and the Frog or something like that. So she's got Jedi mind tricks of her own, and so she can quickly change the subject very quickly. So, even I try to have these serious talks with her, she wants to have a serious talk about Disney. So,
okay, that's understandable because they're really young, so it's kind of hard to really tell it to a young child like that.
right.
You have to tell them, but sometimes you don't want to freak them out, where they be like, "Daddy or Mommy, do I have to deal with this?" So I get where you're coming from with that.
Yeah, she's my oldest is very family oriented, and I instilled that in her at a very young age. So she loves, being with her cousins and, seeing people. So the fact that we can't see folks, right now, even though, or have to see them, from a distance, she really wants to get out and play and see her cousins. She misses everyone. So we're having to kind of stay home and stay.
Oh, trust me, it's tough times because some of my friends who you may see on the comments like Devontae Riley, Fabian 305, my friend Chris, we all are going through it. Just not really going through it like that, but you're just trying to stay sane. You're trying to, work, but still at the same time know that it's real out there in these streets.
Yeah, it is. It is very real out here in the streets, and everybody's got to be careful.
Now, since I know you personally, because I know you used to work with Rona Bennett on her radio show, have you still keep in contact with her, even though she's been doing, working with Invo and Terry?
Yeah, we talk every so often. We'll send a little message here and there, just checking in. She's busy doing her In Vogue thing, and she's also, doing her school PPU because she's a certified life coach now, and she's always busy on social media. So we occasionally, hit each other up. If we find new music that we like, I'll send it to her in April just because there are two people that I can say, you got to hear this, So there were a few songs over the past couple of years that, I've sent them and say, hey, look, y'all need to hear this. And they're like, oh, wow. So, because we're all, running about and it's hard to kind of keep up with a lot of the new stuff. But sometimes we all do in our own way. And they're like, we still share our love of music. So I keep telling them, like, hey, we need to get back together and, do something again. So we're trying to figure out, when the right timing is and the right platform, because everything is kind of graduated since she was on her, internet show. We tried the Google Hangouts once when that was popping, and now that's not really, the thing. So it's like either Zoom or StreamYard, and we, thank God for IG where we can, now be three-way, but we can't play music, so.
Well, that's true. And speaking, remember we were talking about how we were talking about when Jeanne had sampled "Hey Mr. DJ," the Baylor Project's on here. You know Marcus Baylor?
I see Marcus
on there.
Hey, y'all.
Hey.
Marcus and I both served as Grammy governors at the same time. He's still a governor now, I believe, but I'm not. I turned out. So
yeah, Marcus and Jean, if y'all watching, I know y'all in the comments, but if y'all see this, we need to do that interview for the Baylor Project's sophomore album.
Yeah, their sophomore project is coming out. They're Grammy nominated. They are the blueprint right now
Grammy nominated for them.
Yeah, the Baylor Project is the blueprint for any indie artist right now.
Yeah. Thank you
They
for
are,
that.
taking a stand, and they are not putting their music on streaming platforms. They are making you purchase the music.
Mm-hmm.
And they put in the work. They are a successful record label. They're successful artists, and they're doing it all themselves. They do have a team behind them,
Mm-hmm.
but for the most part, they're doing a lot of the stuff themselves. Engineering, producing the music. I mean, they are the artist, they are the label, they are the management,
Yep.
they are the booking agent, they are everything all in one. So salute to Marcus and Gene Baylor.
Yeah, we trying to get the Baylors on here, so we gonna get them on here soon. When we get them on there, I'm gonna hit you up and let you know about that. But we gonna put it out there right now for Gina Marcus. If y'all see this right here, and anybody who's a fan of them, y'all hit up their DM by Baylor Project, and y'all hit them up and let them know you want KTookes to be interviewing them. Just a shameless plug while we plugging up Ashley right there.
Of course.
But Ashley, those songs, like you said, don't throw our love away. Let's go on about that.
So I've had the song for a while. I just decided to kind of release it now. But I wrote it a couple years ago. I remember actually one day I had to actually take, public transportation to the studio. And so I was going to record one song, but, I was on the bus, and we stopped at this one stop, and this couple got on, and they must have had a knockdown, drag out argument before they got on, because we still had to hear about it on the bus. So everybody was trying to turn up their music and, look at their magazines and phones and newspapers at the time and not really pay attention. But the guy was really, pleading his case at the moment. So he, since he said, "Don't throw our love away," that just, I couldn't help but to hear it. It just kind of got me on the title. So I started writing the song on the way to the studio that day, and this is what you'll hear coming out tomorrow. So again,
he mean that in a few hours.
Yeah, in a few hours. It's 12 o'clock, so about 4.5 hours from now. In a couple minutes, in the half hour mark. But yeah, definitely, it's available for pre-order and on my website right now, the Ashley Scott Music in the music store.
Exactly. But that's good to know, because when they hear that song, describe the song. Because I know people are probably saying, because we can't play the song,
right?
Trying to get that down.
It's a I call it a jazzy springtime groove. It's definitely live instrumentation on there. It has some of the best musicians from Philadelphia, as well as I was able to work with smooth jazz saxophonist Elin Trotman. He played on the song as well. And so, it'll be available in a couple hours. It's going to be one of the new begging songs, in R&B and jazz, and so again, I'm excited for the release and excited for, what's to come.
Now, question, this just came to my mind. If I'm wrong on this, you could correct me on this.
Okay.
So the song is coming out tomorrow in a few hours. Are we getting a full album or EP by any chance?
No, just singles at the moment. I mean, albums take a lot more time, just as much as singles, from, a recording and a financial standpoint. And so, we're still in that singles market where, I want every song that I do to count. I don't want to throw 5 or 6 songs on a record and then you play one for 2 weeks and then they want to know what you have next. It's like, I got 6 songs right here. We're just in that, music unfortunately has gotten like the movie market where, you're lucky if you're in the theater for 3 weeks. You know what I mean? Crazy thing was my strategy last year when I worked with a promotion team in the UK. They kind of started the promotion a little bit early from the record, from the release date. So last year, I'm being truthful, by the time the album came out, at least a week later, they said, "Okay, what else do you have? Because I think this one's kind of ran its course." I'm like, "It just came out last week." But, but people are constant. Everybody, we're just in a time where the music industry is, it's easy to get there and it's harder to stay. That's always been a gem, that's something that my aunt's manager always taught them. It's easy to get to the top, but it's even harder to stay. But, one thing she always said was, you can't be number one forever. So everybody has to kind of have their time. So with that being said, I didn't have a follow-up right then and there. I put out the remix a couple months later. And again, it did well in other parts of the world. So,
No, that's a good thing. Now, one question I had, it just came to me because all these questions are coming straight out. They're not; these haven't been written, you guys. I'll just come off the head.
It's all good. We're flowing.
Now, out of all the artists that are out there, who are you feeling? Who would you like to write for? Who are currently out there right now? Not
Wow.
really, just like musically, like different artists that you hear that you are liking that you want to write for.
I mean, I love everybody that's of quality and a real singer. I love, and just because I'm not naming certain people, it's just because I can't think of them. So I'm not saying that to shun any artists as well. But I mean, my favorite contemporary artists are, of course, all the Philly folks. Kindred the Family Soul, they just dropped a new record. You know,
Love
I've
that.
been a supporter of them since the Black Lily. I mean, I was at that Black Lily, you know, every Tuesday back when it was a event here in Philly. I love Lettucey. I love Avery Sunshine. I love the Baylor Project. I love Mesa. She's been a huge support as well. Will Downing, Eric Roberson is a good friend. Frank McComb, Jasmine Sullivan. You know, another one I've watched to kind of grow to who she, you know, to the legendary status that she's already at right now. I love Fantasia. Jennifer Hudson is good. Rochelle Farrell. I said Layla
Love
Hathaway.
Rachel Farrell. I love her.
Did I say Layla Hathaway?
Love her too.
I love her a million times. So those are some of the artists that I love. Rasan Patterson, another great talent.
Now I love him to death, and to me, with Rasan Patterson,
his voice is so amazing in his. I mean, his writing, his songwriting, his vocal arrangement.
songwriting is amazing, and people forget that he wrote Brandy's song "Baby."
Right. And his last album, Sent from Heaven. I mean, when I first heard that record, and I don't know if you've heard it. Yeah,
I heard that's a great
that
project.
song. He sang his face off. You know, Eric Roberson is another friend of mine from Howard, so we go way back. He's been a huge support as well, and he's another artist that I just love. Music Soul Child, Jill Scott.
Mm-hmm.
I think I named just about almost everybody, and if I forgot,
You named a lot.
Phil Perry.
So funny. You named a lot I reviewed, like because I do music reviews too. So
right.
Besides me doing interviews, a lot of people who you named I reviewed. So it's just kind of like, wow, it's like a full circle experience for me.
Yeah, Phil Perry, India Irie, Carol Riddick, another great friend of mine from Philadelphia.
She's a great artist. I love her.
Yes, she is. Somebody I went to high school with who was always a great singer, Miss Vivian Green. And she's from Philly.
Love Vivian Green. Love her.
I'll name somebody that's a little controversial right now. She's still a support and a friend, but you can't knock her talent, and that's Miss Jaguar Wright.
And I knew you was going to bring her name up because when you said it, I was like, he going to say Jaguar Wright. Because that girl can sing.
Lady Alma as well from Philly.
Okay.
And the soul and house music that she does. I mean, it's just so much talent out there, you know. But those are a lot of the contemporaries, you know, that I like and I support and I love. Jeff Bradshaw, his albums are Glenn Lewis. I'm just, you know, naming people off the bat. But
no, you're good. I'd rather you just keep it real because I want to see that you keeping it real, you being honest. Because people don't realize that like we've known each other for a while, and one of my friends just sent a question saying, "Ashley, do you listen to Phyllis Hyman's music?"
Now let's touch on that one for a minute. She is one of my all-time favorites. I was watching her concert from 1990 at the Tokyo Blue Note the other night on YouTube. One of my friends, and he's a singer, he passed away. He was a mentor as well. He was a keyboardist out of DC named Nathan Heathman. He was Gene Carnes' musical director, but he also played with Phyllis Hyman as well. Nathan, I had always loved Phyllis, but Nathan, you know, in his last few years of life, 5 or 6 years, he started producing tribute concerts of Phyllis Hyman with Norman Connors and Gene Carnes. And he recorded his own solo album in 2000. And he has a vocalist from DC named Marjorie Hughes that recorded a song on his album. The song is called Guess I Didn't Really Know You After All. So if you look up Nathan Heathman Guess I Really Didn't Know You After All. You're going to hear Marjorie singing. Please go listen to that song as soon as we're done this interview and inbox me your thoughts afterward, because she sounds exactly like Phyllis. And the song is lyrically, it's a letter from Marjorie or from Nathan to Phyllis. And so about, how unfortunately she took her life and things of that nature. But when you listen to it, it's going to sound like Phyllis Hyman.
Yeah, give it to me just in case if I forget right there.
I will. Yeah. Guess I Really Didn't Know You After All by Nathan Heathman. But I'll send it into your inbox afterward.
Okay. Now, since we've gone into a lot of the music and what you've done and everything, anything else what do you really see yourself in the next few years?
Definitely releasing more music. Hopefully my podcast and radio show and the Soulful Sound Series brand will take off to higher levels. Definitely looking to get that into some institutions of higher learning, and teaching and speaking on, some R&B history and things of that nature. Maybe a book, so I have some ideas of where that's concerned, but that's what I'm trying to get off the ground right now, as well as, just being a dad. I have 2 girls, so I'm a girl dad, and, being there for them is a job in itself. So,
Oh, yes. Now, does anybody have any questions for Ashley Scott? Because if you have any questions for him, you can ask him questions right now. Because, we're getting close to the end, you guys. So if you want to ask Ashley any questions, feel free to ask some questions right now.
Shout out to my friend Darnea, who's on here.
Hey, how are you?
DC Radio Girl.
Okay. Oh, that's okay. I see it. DC Radio.
Yeah. Melvin's watching.
Yeah, shout out to everybody.
Miss Paulette out of Cleveland. She's got a internet radio station that carries a Will Downing show. My boy Nye from Howard.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ben from Belgium. He's him and his dad are longtime supporters of the 3 Degrees. So.
Hey, y'all. I see a lot of y'all in the comments. I know y'all. I'm just proud of you guys too. Do you have any hobbies you like to do? That's the question being asked.
Yes. Doing my family history. I am a addict with 23andMe and Ancestry, and I'm constantly looking up information and trying to trace the family tree back, as well as finding new cousins that pop up on the DNA match list and trying to match them with the tree. I've had a few discoveries in the past couple of years with that.
Oh, trust me, I know how a lot of that is, because I found out something like probably about I say probably, oh goodness, probably 5 years ago, 6 years ago, I found out. And one of my cousins, you probably know who she is, Jasmine Tooks, who's a Victoria's Secret model.
Oh, nice. Okay.
I didn't know that till like years ago.
I just found out that a distant cousin on my mother's side she was on a reality show. Her name is Hope Wiseman. And so she's on Instagram as well, but she's the first African American in the state of Maryland to own a marijuana dispensary. So I haven't met her in person, but I've seen her on TV and sent, a little message. I do talk to her mother occasionally. So,
all right, cool. Well, we see you.
Yeah, Ty's a radio host in Richmond. He's got his own radio show. So I did an interview with him about 2 months ago, and looking to do one now for the new single. So hopefully he starts playing it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all I got to say about it. Giving the props right there.
Thank you.
So, anybody else have any questions for Ashley? Go ahead, ask some questions right now.
Thanks for tuning in.
And I know Ashley's good on his end, which you already know. Don't be scared, you guys.
Yeah, don't be scared, as they say.
Ash.
Oh yeah. No, I was cool with it. I just wanted to make sure everything was technically cool. Sometimes we see a lot of technical difficulties, and
Yeah, because sometimes you never know. What type of
okay,
advice
what type of advice to my
did
aunt?
your aunt give you?
Um, One thing she always told me is that you have to love what you do, because if you love what you do, no matter what it is, it's not a job. I mean, it is work. But the main thing that she has always lived by, and this is a shout quote that I'm about to give by from her and her ex-manager, and was that he taught them that if you can entertain an audience, you can work for the rest of your life performing, but a hit record is just icing on the cake to create more work.
Mm-hmm.
And so for her and that group to be performing every calendar year since 1963, somewhere in the world, and I have to word it like that because, again, their main markets are England, Holland, Japan, Germany, Belgium. They did a lot of stuff in the Middle East before things got crazy in the 90s. Like they actually did the very first color TV special
Mm-hmm.
in the city of Dubai for the
Oh,
BBC.
wow.
So, for her to be working somewhere in the world every calendar year, even when the years that she left the group, because she was out of the group for about 10 years. She started when she was 15, but she left in 66 and she came back in 76 and she's still there now. So for her to be performing last year in England and then having to kind of come home in quarantine, like that says a lot that, people still want to come see your show. People still want to hear the music. People still are entertained by you, and they put out a record about 5 years ago. It was a tribute record to the Philly sound, and it was
Mm-hmm.
only released over in the UK. But so that's their most current record, probably from 2016. But for a while they haven't had any records out. So for them to still tour 50 some dates in England throughout the year, that says a lot, as well as Japan. So I'm focused more so not just domestically here in the States, but I'm focusing my music more internationally because, again, the proof is in the pudding with her that they appreciate our music abroad a lot more than they do here in the States.
It's important. Doing something big when the phone rings.
Yeah, it
Oh,
is. I forgot to turn that little ringer off.
it's
That
all
phone rarely rings right, but
it's all good.
it's a bill collector that we just won't answer. But the bills are paid.
But now we're gonna close off all this. Now, like we said, let everybody know where they can follow you, social media, all the above, the new
So
single.
on Twitter and Instagram, I'm Ashley Scott 3. My Facebook page is I am Ashley Scott. My website is ashleyscottmusic.com, and you can go in the music store and purchase the new single, Don't Throw Our Love Away. It's available in the next 4 hours and 20 minutes.
And let me do a shameless plug for you. He has a video coming out song also. He doesn't want to tell everybody.
Right. The video is going to air on my YouTube channel, which is Ashley Scott Music. If you just type it in tomorrow at 12 p.m.
Because I set my reminder for that when I saw it earlier before the interview.
Thank you. Yeah, we shot a video a few weeks ago. I'm here, so sorry about that. I had a call come through.
Okay.
Shot a video a few weeks ago in Philly, and first time I ever shot it was my first video. The other singles I put out were more so lyric videos, so this was a lot of fun. This is a lot of fun. So the video debuts tomorrow on YouTube.
Well, we got to congratulate you on that. And then you can follow me at KTookes on Instagram and Twitter. And you also, because you're going to see this interview right here while you guys are watching this on IGTV, it'll be on YouTube momentarily. So I'm going to send you that YouTube link so you can share that YouTube.
Great. Yeah, I definitely want to share this with folks that aren't tuned in, so on the other platforms.
Of course. And then they could subscribe. You guys subscribe when you go on YouTube. Push the subscribe button for my thing because say KTookes a second. That's how you find me on YouTube. And they push the bell icon so that way you get VIP access, and also subscribe to Ashley's YouTube channel also by push the subscribe button and pushing the bell icon so that way You get VIP access to watch my videos, Ashley's videos, and be in the loop for whenever we do stuff. So that way you guys will know.
Yeah. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate the opportunity.
No
Congrats
problem.
on this on your platform as well, man.
Thank you, Ashley. And we thank you guys. I know a lot of you guys probably been coming in and out and everything. So we thank you so much. And that's about it. So bye, y'all.
See y'all later. Go get the single, AshleyScottMusic.com. Thank you.
Thank you, Ashley.
Thank you.